Hey Kyle, how are you?
I'm doing well. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Thanks for jumping on. Sure appreciate
Yes,
it.
yes, sir.
And first and foremost, congratulations.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I also want to say thanks for hosting that. That was an awesome event.
Absolutely. Had a couple of quick questions before we start talking about the clues and the riddles. Number
Yep.
one, how did you discover us originally?
Just randomly on TikTok. I went through and
Okay.
it was probably a couple months ago. I think I got on decently early. I know you'd been doing it before that, but
Yeah.
I hopped on before the bell curve kind of jumped there. So,
Oh yeah. No, very good. Very cool.
hmm
So yeah, I mean, I'm sure you noticed I just kind of put out the same video over and over because every time I put it out, it goes out to a few hundred new people
Yep.
and a few of them are interested, and so we just got to keep going until we have enough people. Obviously, we ended up hitting enough people in Texas and
Yep.
started there. So you and I got on a phone call previously, so I kind of know a little bit about
hmm
your the way you solved it and stuff. But if it's okay, we're going to kind of just go through line by line. So first of all, you're not from the Houston area.
No, sir. I'm from Fort Worth, Dallas Fort Worth area. So it was a good little 4 hour drive for me that morning.
Yeah. So yeah, that would have been an early morning. Get
Yep.
down there, get down there
Yep.
by
I
8 a.m.
woke up around 3:30, tried to get out of the house by 4 so I could be in the northern Houston area by around 8 just to get
Yeah,
started. So
that's awesome. All right, so I'm going to try to share my screen and pull up the actual riddle, and we'll
okay,
just go through it kind of line by line.
absolutely.
Okay, let me know if you can see that yet.
Not yeah. That's it. It shows that you're trying, but it's blank right now.
Okay.
Shows that you have a presentation going, but it just didn't show anything yet.
Any luck yet?
Nothing yet.
Okay,
Oh, there
that's
we. Okay, now I see us a million times.
okay. How about
There we
this?
go. Yep, that's it.
All right, so this would be, the email that everybody would have received.
Yes, sir.
Uh, we expected, and I had mentioned this in quite a few of the TikTok videos and stuff and other social media. I had mentioned that we expected somebody to maybe solve it by Friday or Saturday, most
Mm-hmm.
likely Saturday, and we had actually, prepared a number of clues we would release on Sunday
Yep.
if it hadn't been found yet. And somehow you defied all odds and you solved it in, I don't know, 4.5 hours maybe, if I remember right.
Yep.
Um, so here we go. So it starts out and it says, "Let's go." It says, "If you want to
Mm-hmm.
be the lucky winner, don't start in Houston's outer, but start in
Mm-hmm.
Houston's inner."
Mm-hmm.
And what were your thoughts on that?
So, as a broad aspect, I'm a civil engineer for my career, and so I do problem solving for a living. That's kind of
Yeah,
just the way I put it. Um, so when I looked at this, it was a lot. It was a lot more than I was expecting to come all at once at 8 a.m.
yeah,
So I wanted to go through it and kind of break down and solve all the pieces I could, and then go back and start putting them back together.
okay,
Um, So when I did, yeah, I saw that first sentence. I said, Houston, don't start in the Houston's outer, but start in the inner. I was sitting up North Houston, the Woodlands area. And so I was like, okay, well, I might do some driving to get started. But again, I wanted to go through and kind of, I had a notepad with me. I was just taking notes about all this stuff that I could solve as I was going. Um, so I just went through and started doing my givens. The first one, like I said, thought I was going to have to take off towards the beginning, but I wanted to go through and get all the information I could. Um, so I started going down, start by asking where did Eberk Solve go?
yeah,
That one actually just had a question mark by. I couldn't really solve that one. I knew it was some kind of cipher or code or something, but I wasn't able to get that one perfectly solved. So
All right. So let's stop right there. So
Mhm.
the way we designed this, our intention was that you'd almost have to solve each piece in sequence
Yep.
to be able to move forward. So you're right, that was a cipher, and it was
Yep.
just a simple, what's called a Caesar cipher, where you just shift the letters in the alphabet, and so the idea here was, obviously we put that name in bold and italics to kind of draw attention and say, hey, you got to look at this name. And of course, if you Googled that name, you're not going to find anything.
Nothing. Yeah.
And that again, that's the intention. So you'd know, hey, I got to figure this out. And the hope was people would just start messing with different types of ciphers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did a 3-letter shift, you'd find a name, Byron Price. That's Byron, and then Preiss.
Okay.
And of course, it's just a 3-letter shift. So you got B, C, D, E, right? So it's just three letters back in the alphabet.
Yep.
and if you Googled that name, you'd know you're on the right track, because you'd find out this was a guy who hid treasures in all 50 states, right? So that is not a coincidence, right?
Absolutely.
And something I've explained in some of my previous TikToks, you may or may not have seen them, is that the type of riddle that I like and that we're going for is the type where when you solve it, you're on the right track. You've got the right solve. Or if somebody explains it to you, you're like, yep, that's the right solve.
It's challenging, but obvious once you get it.
That's right. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Difficult, but once you've solved it, you've got the right solve. So, I kind of have toyed around with some of the other treasure hunts out there, and I did with Forrest Fenn's as well. It was obviously 15 years ago that Forrest Fenn put his out, and he hid a treasure box full of like actual treasures, gold, silver, jewels, artifacts, all kinds of amazing things. And he put out a book, The Thrill of the Hunt, and it had a poem that was the riddle. And I was honestly disappointed with that one, because by the end, when it was finally, it took 10 years for someone to find it, first of all. So it definitely met the difficult criteria. But once everything was said and done and the solve was explained, it was disappointing, because it was not obviously correct. What I mean?
Yeah, it had some missing pieces there that just didn't fit.
Yeah, and I mean, it begin at where warm waters halt, right? So this meant, somewhere in Yellowstone where there was hot water coming out of a natural spring or whatever, and it was running into a cold water, running down a river and hitting another river. Well, there's probably 10 or 15 places in Yellowstone itself that have that happening, right?
Yeah.
So there's no way that once you learned that was the spot, there was no way that you're like, yep, that was the one. Anyway. So I don't want to spend too much time on that, but if you found out that this guy Byron Price had hidden treasures in all 50 states, you'd have found out that he hid it in Houston, in Herman Park.
Okay.
And so then when it says he went to bury treasure, but where, that's what you'll have to know.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So you never had to figure that out, right?
No, I didn't go that far. So on the next one, the Force also hid some treasure, replaced his first name with Silicon. I had Silicon Fin, which got me Cambridge cluster, tech businesses. I had that kind of jotted down.
Yeah.
So I caught that clue. Next time to get a move on, go south from the animals across his full name. If you find the green boxes, you might win the game. And what are the 3 words above Sheboygan, Wisconsin? And so, again, that was one of those that I wasn't really there. I had Sheboygan written down. I was trying to make plays off of words of it, but couldn't really figure it. So I just kind of kept going. So,
okay. So what that was, you figured out Forrest Fenn, and if you replace his first name with Silicon, it's Silicon Fenn, and yeah, that's a nickname for Cambridge, Massachusetts, right? Just like you found out. But if you knew you were in Herman Park, and it says go south from the animals. Well, there's a zoo in Herman Park, and if you go south across his full name, well, then his full name obviously being Silicon Fen or Cambridge, and so there's a street right there called Cambridge Street, and so that would narrow down what part of Herman Park you're supposed to be in. And that's just, there's a kind of a park south of Cambridge Street, and yeah, so if you start looking around for green boxes, you'll find, sprinkler control valve or control boxes, sprinkler valve boxes. And they say on them, they say Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and just above, what are the three words above that? So just above where it says Sheboygan, Wisconsin, it says Armor Access Boxes, right?
Okay.
And so it says the first letter of the third word. Well,
B.
obviously that'd be B. So our intent here again was, the only way you're going to know, it says the only way you're going to find these green boxes and figure out what it be is by going to Herman Park. So that was the intent. The intent was you're going to have to go there. Well, you outfoxed us. You never had to go there.
So I was about to say, this is where kind of all mine started getting to where I solved every clue from here down.
Right on. But you didn't even have to go to Atwater Prairie Chicken National Wildlife Refuge.
Correct. Yes, I looked up all three of those refuges. The next clue right there is you're at the lake, you're in the hut. What's the animal that rhymes with dog? Check the Wikipedia page for this particular one, the one that lives here at this bog. So I looked up all three of those refuges. I was kind of scrolling through them. All three of them had bog areas. So that didn't narrow it down for me. I started referencing those with, it was either a frog or a hog. Frog made more sense with bog, so I started with that one. And they all talked about certain frogs, but there was only one clear one. Outwater specifically talked about the crawfish frog. And so that's kind of what teed me in there. So on that Wikipedia, it fit perfectly. It says the crawfish frog was up to 3 inches in length. Plug that into the next clue. Apparently grows up to 3 inches in length, so multiply by 10. And that gave me the northing and westing, so I could get to that location. And I matched it on the 2X4A, which is 234A, which is a 4 service road. And both those were the exact same location. So back to what you're saying about once it's clear, it's clear. I had the double verification there that was the answer. So
yeah, and that was our intent. So now our hope was that to figure out what frog we're looking for, you'd have had to gone there, because if you went there and you went in that little hut that's on, I think it's called Horseshoe Lake at that reserve, there's this little structure that you can go in, and there's a beautiful view of the lake from there. But there's a couple posters inside that hut, and one of them talks about that dang frog. But again, you outfoxed us, and you didn't even have to go there to figure that out. So good for you. And then we did the double verification on the location for a couple of reasons. One was, when you're out there, cell service is not great, and so when I pulled up what my coordinates were from the location, I was pretty sure it was accurate, but I wanted to make sure I didn't lead anybody astray, and so I added that, the 234A road just to be sure. And so again, this is the kind of thing where once you think you've solved it, you've got this verification, and you kind of know, hey, if those coordinates match up with that road, I mean, come on,
that's it.
That's it. So
I was pretty confident with that.
So now you did actually have to go to the location, right?
Correct. And luckily, like I said, I was doing all this already in North Houston because I'm from the DFW area. So I looked it up, and I was about 20-25 minutes from it. So
boom, you got
took off straight to it. Right at that location, I mean, right on the dot when I pulled up, I was sitting at Gate C, which was the red and white striped one, and looked like it had been peppered by a shotgun or something. So from that, I continued down to the hint for Gate C, which was you'll need to go near the state park where the arms Dablon. And from that one, I looked up Dablon because I didn't know what it meant. Like you said, service was slow, so it took me a second. But on Google, it told me fold, double, or turn. So on my maps right there, I could see just on that trail right behind the gate, there was a big curve in it. So I thought I'd start there. So I took off hiking. I ended up probably going, I mean, I jogged probably mile and a half, 2 miles down that trail and came back. And I was like, okay, well, I haven't found anything related to KCS. I'm not really getting anywhere there. So thought I'd go back to the truck and regroup. When I got to the truck, there was actually a dumped refrigerator freezer just sitting over by the gate. And so I kept reading down and I saw, you could get some error from machine ID 849 blank, blank, blank. And I was like, okay, well, freezer, refrigerator, cool down. I was like, maybe that's it. So I went over and checked it out and it was definitely not the right thing. It had some spoiled meat and was pretty rotten.
Oh, funny
Yeah.
enough, I saw that there as well. And
Mhm.
I smelled the smell,
Yeah.
but I did not go look in that thing. I'm like, there's a dead body in that thing. I'm not going near it.
Yeah, I didn't go around the backside, but I did get up to it and like took a picture of the manufacturer's code so I could see if it
Yeah.
had a machine ID on it.
Yep.
So yeah, got that. Like I said, I got back in the truck and I was kind of sitting there looking around the maps for different curves, turns, doublons. I did look up the word doublon some more, or the arms doublon, and I did find references to the Brazos. Um, However, I was still kind of just in that little area that I was looking around. So on my map, before I just took off anywhere, I saw that there was a big curve in 234A, the Forest Service Road, if I keep going south. So I was like, well, I'll go check that out. That'll kind of get me moving again. Started driving south, went past that curve, and right after it is a little community on the lake. And there's a gas station. So I was like, okay, I'm still not seeing any references to KCS. Didn't see any signs, nothing. So I pulled over in that gas station and there was an air compressor. So I hopped out, took a picture of it. It was an AirServe brand air compressor and it had the exact same, I guess, what's the word I want here? Configuration that
Mhm.
your Clue had. It was machine ID. And the one I found was, what was it? A picture of it. It was completely different. 022CDD.
Yeah.
And so at least I knew what I was looking for at that point.
Yep.
I was looking for a air compressor, and it fit all the clues. I just didn't know exactly where. So again, instead of getting stuck on one, I kept reading down, just trying to problem solve. I started going down to if blank 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 was ABC, use the following chart to find me. So from that, I knew
Okay,
that I
so
was looking.
let me back up. Thanks, Kyle. Let me back up for
Yep.
1 second and
Mhm.
just reiterate some of these clues
Okay.
right here to make sure everybody else understood that. So first of all, by the way, we used AI to create these two gates that weren't the right ones.
Oh, interesting. That was
Yeah,
really good.
yeah, we took the correct one and we told AI to just modify it in certain ways, and so
Mhm.
that's where these other ones came from. But anyway, so you found the right gate. So back to these three, A, B, and C. By the way, A and B could lead you to other state parks,
Mhm.
which of course would be the wrong place to go, right?
Yep.
But Arms Doblan, Arms in Spanish is Brazos, or
Mhm.
however, I mean that's how you pronounce it in Spanish anyway. And Doblan in Spanish, like you said, could mean to curve or to fold. So this would be
Mhm.
like, arms fold. But the name of the state park down there is Brazos. Let's see. What is the name of the state park down there?
I think it's the Brazos Curve. Is it Curve?
Let me see here. Oh, Brazos Bend. Yep,
Brazos Bend. Yep.
Brazos Bend. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's the state park you'd be heading to. And so it was
Mhm.
kind of like a double Spanish thing. This one needs to be translated into Spanish. This one needs to be translated from Spanish to English, and you'd get Brazos
Yep.
Bend. Yeah, and you would have found, if you had gone there, you'd have found an old. Well, you can go ahead from your solve here because you kind of figured this out too. So go ahead.
Yeah, I
You
was
knew-
about to say I got there
yeah.
from a back way.
Yep.
So
Again, without having to
the
go
blank
there.
blank blank. Like I said, from that I knew that I was looking for. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Sorry, kind of froze up on us. The blank blank blank. I knew I was looking for a 3-word trail. that had at least 3 trailheads if you go down further.
Yep.
So I started just looking through some maps all over Houston for 3-word trails, and there's a lot of them. I did find a lot, but most of them don't have 3 trailheads at least. So I narrowed it down to just a few. I used those few and referenced your letters to get the codes for each one. And since I'd already found that air compressor from AirServe, I had my brother on standby, kind of my eye in the sky in the DFW area, and he called AirServe for me and used the code ID. Well, actually, we were going to check all of them, but the first one we did was 849JDH, which was the code for the Lone Star hiking trail.
Right.
And said that there was one in Needle Point, which is at the Brazos Bend State Park, and that she verified it was there and had no other information on it. So I knew that was in the general area. So I went on Google Earth and dropped down there, and I could see on the side of the building Crafts Country Store, KCS. Correct. So again, I had my double verification there that had the right air compressor, had that store, and was able to know that that was the right trail.
Right. And again, you outsmarted us because you didn't have to physically go there. Had you gone there, obviously you'd have seen the Craft Country Store.
Yep.
You'd have found the machine. You'd have seen ID 849JDH. So you'd have known Lone, Star hiking.
Yep.
So you'd know that was the trail. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So like I said, I did that one kind of backwards, but had my verification.
Yep.
So from there, I took off to the Lone Star Hiking Trail, Trailhead 3. Got there and hopped out. They had the trail entrance, big sign and everything, and I knew kind of the last clue there was I was looking for the clock. I had to figure out which mile marker to get to.
Right.
So I was sitting there thinking, when I got there, I thought there would be some kind of clock or time indication on the sign that said, estimated time to complete this trail or get to the next station, something. I looked around everywhere for a clock, couldn't find anything. So I was like, I'll start hiking, see if I see any references or anything. And I just started going down the trail, and just cranking in my head through different ideas of where the clock could be. And then all of a sudden it just hit me. You'd referenced in your first video saying the Texas one that there was a hint in the video. And I had done a lot of research on that video. I looked at the paintings. You had the Salt Lake City Temple painting, and there was a Cobblestone Village painting behind you. Those took me nowhere. There's some knickknacks behind you, a lot of American memorabilia, but again, didn't really take me much else. So in my head, I just remember I was like, I bet there was a clock sitting behind him. So service was a little spotty. So called my wife, brother, and they looked it up, sent me a screenshot of it. And it was you with the clock over your shoulder and mirrored. But it was Roman numerals. So I backtracked that, figured out that it was, I guess it said 746.
Yep.
You subtract that from the 1546 and end up with 8. So hiking down the trail, I think it was a good, probably mile and a half down. I hit mile marker number 8. And again, had the double verification there. Felt like I was in the right spot. Now I did sit there for a good probably 20 or 30 minutes because it said veer off the track to the right, and I thought there'd be some kind of little trail or something, but no, it was kind of just bushwhacking for that 15 yards. Had to cut through the spiders and brush and everything, and it just opened up to this log. And yeah, I was on the phone with my wife, and I go, "Oh my gosh, I think I'm looking at the log." She goes, "No, you're not. Like, you're messing with me." And I was like, "No, I really think I am." I was like, "It looks just like it."
Yep.
So, went up under there, pulled out the prize and started going back. Actually, I passed another hunter on my way back as well. He had already made it to the trail. So I did see one there. And I forgot to mention, when I was going up and down the Forest Service Road, there was cars galore parked and people getting out and looking. I would have to assume that's what they're there for. I mean, there were even people at that gas station hopping out and taking pictures and stuff like I was. So I think everybody was kind of all over the place looking. It was good to see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had noticed in some of the comments on those videos about that, that at least one guy had been coming in, hiking up the trail when you were hiking out. I may try to get a hold of them and find out how they got there so quick as well. But well, congratulations. How did it feel?
It was awesome. It was really just adrenaline rush for the whole time. You know, I was just booking it everywhere I could. Like I said, I was running up the trails. It was great. It really was. It was exciting.
Yeah, I'm guessing the next exciting moment was when you entered the access code and verified that the balance was there, right?
Yes, yes. Got back in the truck, verified that the Bitcoin transferred over. That was awesome. That was an amazing moment. Yeah, it was just a great experience. It really was.
Yeah. So I wanted to just clarify that for everybody watching. He found the card, but you have to have an access code. So you download the app onto your phone, the Tangent Wallet app, and then you pair it with that wallet. Then you have to enter an access code. So of course he wouldn't have had that, but he when he found the treasure, it included instructions, which included the instructions to text me. And I verified that the number he texted me from was the number he registered from for the hunt. So if some random stranger had found the wallet and they texted me, I would not have shared the access code with them because I would have said, no, this phone number is not, registered. So, but I shared the access code with Kyle, obviously, and that would have been the moment when it showed the balance and he knew, hey, it's really there.
Yeah. I will say, from where you hit it, I don't think there was any way that a random person would have stumbled upon that.
No, that exactly, and that was our intention too. But my only thought was if some critter was sniffing around because my scent led them to that spot and they saw something shiny under there and drug it out, right? But barring that, it would have been pretty random for somebody to just happen to go look under that log.
Absolutely.
So, so you had mentioned to me it was pretty, thrilling and exhilarating that whole time.
Absolutely.
What do you think it's going to be like when there's only 50 of you and the prize is $1 million?
Oh man, it's going to be gung ho. I mean, I'm going to be absolutely wired for that one. I'm already looking forward to it. So, it's a little ways out. We got 49 more states, but
we do. We've got 49 more states, and we don't have enough people sign up for any of them yet. So we need to get the word out. And we haven't, of course, announced the location or the timing, obviously, yet of that final treasure hunt. But when we're getting closer, we're going to give you guys plenty of leeway or lead time to say, hey, this is the weekend, so that you can clear your schedule. You might want to obviously not spend all $5,000 worth of Bitcoin because, you might have to travel outside of Texas, obviously.
Absolutely. That was actually my plan, was to keep that where it's at and just kind of save it for the next race. So
yeah. So, well, that's awesome. I appreciate you taking the time today, Kyle. We'll get this video posted. So anybody who's wondering how that was solved, and particularly how it was solved so quickly, they'll find out.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Great. Hey, have a great day, Kyle.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. You as well.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.